Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be the semi-finals. Up next in the EU Challenger scene, we're going to see Agilitas face off against up-and-coming stars. Now, we're starting to get to the end of the tournament this week, Cret, and we're starting to see the cream of the crop starting to rise to the top once again, ready for seeding next week. Who do you reckon? Who have you got your money on right now?
You know, it's going to be a tough decision. Agilitas coming off of a roster change in their jungle, which is such a deciding role for a team. On the other hand, upcoming stars, well, they've got a lot of potential. They've got a lot of skill in their roster, which makes it a rather difficult decision, Hindu man.
I mean, between this game for sure, I mean, they are upcoming stars. Let's see if their name will follow through with what they've stated about themselves by calling themselves that. Agilitas, though, we did see, they've got a different jungler in there for the time being. Whether that's a permanent thing, I still don't know, full confirmation on that, so I'm just like, okay, we'll just go with that for now. But Agilitas obviously did very, very well. Barely missed out on entering the pro scene after a loss to Exposed Secrets. But we're into picks and bans now. And here we go. Agilitas going to be our first pick, first ban. Upcoming stars on the right-hand side of your screen. They're going to get double option choices. Zhonghui, first focused ban out of this tournament.
Zhonghui gotten rid of Freya as well. So Ataraxia is going to have the next ban. Lots of options. I think he's going to let Serket through. Serket's the character I'm most interested in watching just because I really like watching high-level Serket play, and I think we're getting to the point where that's exactly what we're going to be able to see. Habwa, of course, taken off the board. He's so strong in Europe. But now it's up to Qin. What's he going to get rid of?
A lot on the table. Mercury's been taken off. That does leave Serket available, and Noir. Noir instantly locked in by Agilitas. And he's back over to upcoming stars for what their options are going to be to deal with Noir. Will they go for a support? Well, you did say as well, Serket is still available. They could go for that. See.
Okay, so here's the thing about when your second pick and Athena or Geb are not banned. If one of them is banned, then obviously you go for whichever one isn't. But when both of them are on the board, just pick your core and let them decide which one they get. Because let's be honest, Athena or Geb, they're both good. They're both the best.
Talking about, picking your core, Giannis and Serket is definitely a core that you want on the table. And in response, Agilitas is going to try and work out their duo lane here by the looks of it. Kanye Life picking up Athena. Apollo is being hovered over right now as well. He's going to be locked in. And as you can see, the diamond skins are coming up as well.
Yeah, so that's going to be a double global duo lane. And it looks like that upcoming stars are actually going to go for Raw. So they opt for healing. They opt for really powerful mages, but it means that they're not guaranteed to get Geb, which I like the fact that they're doing this. It means that they're confident in their third string support pick, because you don't make this move unless you have a plan to pick something else when Geb is inevitably banned away. Upcoming stars, they'll probably focus. Okay, so they're going to remove Nemesis. It's a nice removal.
Taken out. And there's Geb, as you'd expect, especially when a support's not picked up. Take that one away. So, back to upcoming stars. What are they going to look for? Well, at the moment, they need a hunter. They also need a support as well, and that's the big focal point of what support they're going to pick up. Ymir's available, Kumbhakarna is available, Bacchus is available. They're the three that we generally see more than anything else right now in terms of supports. Unless we go for the crazy sort of Fenris and Thors, they're the only other ones you really do see.
Yeah, there's definitely options for those deeper pool jungle picks, but I'm excited to see what Repikas is going to play. We've obviously seen him perform well on that Nemesis. He looked very comfortable and actually hit, I believe, the godlike spree, 13 kills. But Thor. And that's a little bit of a throwback to Zinder, and we'll see how Repikas can play with that one. Pretty prime. He's probably choosing his mid laner, Vulcan. Maybe Isis.
I'd go Vulcan just because then you've got a global on everyone, pretty much.
True.
Like a semi-global at least in terms of Thor and Vulcan. But they're going to go with Isis in the mid lane to face off against Giannis. If it is going to be Giannis mid, that's the question. I guess they want to try and send Ra against New War is their game plan. So I'm expecting to see Giannis versus Isis, whichever lane that matchup that will be. But it's back to Snakeskin for their final pick for the upcoming stars. It's down to their support choice. They are hovering over Ymir here. Ymir is effective, especially against this team. I think it's really, really strong against Isis because when she wind gusts, you immediately freeze her, and that's a lot of her damage gone.
You know, Ymir is just really fun to watch. He can put out so much damage. He has pretty good control. Walls can change the team fights, and with this skin, you get that big loud beeping noise when he's about to explode. But Ymir's gonna shuffle around, he's gonna go to Qin, and he's gonna opt for Digimir, so the cool technology wall instead.
Full technology. Guys, this is the teams Agilitas versus Upcoming Stars. This is the semi-final. When it moves on to the final to try and get their hand at winning week 1 of the EU Challenger scene, we'll be right back as these guys load in.
Hey everyone, it's the semifinals. My name is Kren and I'm joined by Hinuman. Today in the blue trunks is Agilitas with their new player Repikas in the jungle as Thor, Convery the solo laner's new Kanye Life in the support role as Athena, Isis played by Pretty Prime in the mid lane, and Ataraxia as Apollo in the hunter role.
I was impressed. You are Dry Bear 2.0.
I went full Dry Bear.
You did. That was pretty impressive. Meanwhile, on the other side of the screen, we're going to see Upcoming Stars fighting from the top half of the map, the right-hand side of your spectator UI, and on the right-hand side of the map right now, we're going to see the Pikachu playing Circuit in the jungle. Qin's going to be playing Ymir in the support role. Kurencento is going to be playing Yorus in the mid lane. Snakeskin's going to be playing Raw, probably in the solo, not 100% certain yet. And we're going to see Fresh Times playing Rama in the dual lane as well. Both teams looking for an early invade and not finding each other.
Yeah, not gonna find anyone just yet, but I appreciate the fact that they're grouping up, and I'm excited for this match.
Well,
can you tell?
Early on at the start, I could tell you excited because of the introduction. I've never seen you do an introduction like that before, ever.
I've never been excited before in my life.
It makes a change to hear you excited for a moment. Well, the teams pretty much went around looking for a level 1 fight. Nobody found anything, so they all just returned to the areas where they generally start. Ymir going to be joining them at this left-hand side camp, which means he's going to be a little bit delayed going to his blue buff, and Agilitas will be aware of that right now. As they take down their own blue buff, they'll realise they're going to be a little bit late on the rotation. Will they look to invade, or will they just allow them to get away with it? It looks like they're trying to save the hog here over on Agilitas' side. So Kanye Life going to use a fast hog in lane for a fast level 2, I think, to try and put the pressure back on them.
On the right hand side, you know, I really am excited for this solo, and I'm excited for a lot of things, but this solo duo matchup is going to be interesting. I think Nuwa is a very dynamic character in the solo duo matchup because of how strong she is when there are no creeps present in the lane, but how she has relatively few damage options when creeps are present. I think Thor's very interesting in the solo duo because, well, he's not that good from range, doesn't have that much control of the minions. He's really good at fighting under certain circumstances, so I think if Repikas plays this well, Agilitas could definitely have kill potential.
Yep, so keep an eye on them on both sides at the moment. Pikachu's going to use that Death Bane to try and poke down some of the minions. If he gets a good Cobra's Kiss, he can go aggressive. Left-hand side, though, Rama rolls in and gets in a bit of trouble there. The trade back from Qin was nice to slow them down, so they can't continue the poke. Back into mid lane, and we can see Pretty Prime putting the pressure on Giannis with this Isis early on. So gets the first one to leave the solo lane as a jungler. Going to look for an option mid, but Prime's aware of it.
Yeah, probably not going to get caught out here. Circuit can be a little bit scary because while it's not a huge pull, her madness-inducing poison will still pull you out of position and can create that kill potential. Yanis, played by Kurosentu, is just trying to stay safe, which I definitely think is important when you're up against Pretty Prime, a very scary player in lane. For the junglers, they're both heading deep into their jungle and looking to get their farm. Level 5 is a priority, a little bit more for Thor than for Circuit, but it's really good for both players. And actually, Repikas is going to recall at a kind of odd time.
This duo lane is a beast right now. They're going backwards and forwards, trading blows every single second, and it's going relatively even between the two. So I actually think that's where we're going to see the majority of the action early on. Keep an eye on Thor and Circuit, looking for a rotation there, because Agilitas are pushing in quite considerably for the time being against a Rama, which is quite a difficult thing to do, in all honesty.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult thing to do, and you know, honestly, Ymir has really good push as well with those glacial spikes. He can hit all of the minions. It does an incredible amount of damage, and he's very imposing in lane as well. Circuit's going to show up, but Agilitas are wise to it. They're just going to back off and go for passivity. Repikas is lurking in the jungle. If he leeches a wave of experience, he should hit level 5, and that Anvil of Dawn is so good at the first mid-camp fight. Isis returning from the jungle, or returning from the base, also level 5 here. I think Agilitas could definitely fight.
Aggression onto Repicast, tries to be attempted with the Cobra's Kiss and the ambush combination. Did not connect though, so he gets away for now. Does hit level 5, and now these mid-camps spawn in any second. There's an ultimate from Noir. I guess there was a lot of aggression on the left-hand lane, that's what it was used for. But now Fresh Time's trying to go aggressive onto Ataraxia, who's a level behind at the moment. Needs to soak up these minions to hit level 5 himself. As does Kanye. Live queuing already level 5. Is he going to have a Frost Breath to bring down Kanye? Well, there's a wall to the face, and there's the sniper as the Frost Breath lands. He's going to buy time for one shot to connect. The third one does not, neither does the second. Mid-camps though, left-hand side, we're going to see Thordum down looking for Pikachu, but immediately Deathbane jukes him out of a bad position he found himself in. Both mid-camps go down. Can Thor make something happen left though?
Yeah, Thor's coming in quick. He does have a wall and a speed buff. Going to teleport forward. Frozen out immediately, taking damage and backing out now into the Circuit. Poison Apollo's up in the air, but will come down in a bad spot. Nice wall. True damage onto Repicast. He's down below 100 health. Just a few more hits. Pikachu's low on mana through space and time. Coming through, not going to connect. Let's rewind a little, not literally in the Spectre client, but just mentally rewind a little bit to that Ymir freeze. I think Qin could have gotten that kill. He tried to give it to his hunter, and as a result, the kill got away. And honestly, I think that's Qin's fault. Sometimes you just have to take first blood to make sure you get the kill.
Well, so far the game still equals 0-0. Golden experience, backwards and forwards. One team's in the lead of gold by a couple of hundred. One team's in the lead in experience by a couple of hundred. Both mid-camps down. Still anyone's game, and it's looking really close. This is worthy of a semi-final right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. I just want to see Ymir get rolling early on. I think he's such a potent character when he gets a few levels under his belt, starts hitting hard with those glacial spikes and the auto attacks with the help of his passive. Pretty Prime in middle lane is also definitely a playmaker to look for. Circle Protection is such a dynamic and interesting ability. There's so many facets to it. You basically need a PhD to understand all the different things that it does and even read the whole ability name, but I think if anyone can make Isis really work out at this level, it's Pretty Prime.
Well, blue buff's all taken down by everybody on the map around the same time. Repicast and Pikachu on the right-hand side at the same time, going to find each other. Cobra's Kiss does not connect there, but Repicast jumps to his hammer for safety just in case anyway. And so they're both going to back away for now. Keep an eye on Repicast. He's got his ultimate available, and that's what Thor's going to look to do, is dunk down if he can. However, there's a ward in the area. They should have a small amount of vision. Pikachu's still hovering here. They're looking for a big gank on this solo lane right now by the looks of it. Comfrey's going to get engaged on by Picicast. There's the Cobra's Kiss. She's going to use the ultimate, but she's not going to get time to because Snakeskin gets a great snipe up of the dunk down from Thor now with Athena coming in. There's a good wombo to secure Snakeskin. Kanye picks that one up through space and time, comes out, does not connect. Pretty Prime on the backside from Ice is going to try and find the Wingus, does not find it connect. And a 1-for-1 trade through the map still means we're still pretty much even. However, lane pressure right.
Yeah, lane pressure right, and because Pikachu has to back off, you're actually going to get farm pressure as well, which means that it should create a bit of an experience and gold advantage for Agilitas there, as they were able to collect farm after the fight, whereas upcoming stars were not. A little bit of damage onto Kurosento there. He's not too worried about it. Circuit, though, I mean, that escape was insane, right?
It was, but that's what Circuit is picked for, really. She has ridiculous mobility. Mid-camps traded evenly. Agilitas get right, upcoming stars get the left, so still no real gains across the map for the time being, as the score's still 1-1. But yeah, going back to what you were saying about Circuit, her ambush and Deathbane just makes her so mobile, and one of the biggest reasons you see her banned out, really, Krat, is that she's so hard to get the kill onto. She's always got a way of escaping when she does get on low HP, and sometimes it can overbait you into a fight you don't want to have.
Definitely can bait you in. Looking at the map objectives, mid camps just went down, gold freeze available, the buffs are all taken. This is a bit of a lull, which means that first of all it's a good time to gank, and second of all it's a good time to recall. Jumping forward is Fresh Times, but he could be finding himself out of position. Defender of Olympus comes through, Rom's gonna go up in the air. It's
Spine time,
excuse me, ult for ult trade. Circuit's coming in, but she's not gonna find a jump here, and actually Thor's rotating over. This could go the way of Agilitas.
Well, we'll see if it does, because at the moment Pikachu's still in the area. They have a ward round about the Gold Fury, so they might see some of that rotation in there from Thor. Pikachu uses the ambush, and clearly they see him. That makes a lot of noise, that ambush noise as well. You can actually hear it quite far away. Very similar to a Loki Vanish as well.
Yeah, it's really a loud noise. The other thing it reminds me of is Nemesis Double Dash, which just sounds like a gunshot going off.
Yeah.
But big group up here.
Spirit Ball didn't connect because the portal went down. Prime took a lot of poke. Has to use the Circle of Protection. Actually going to heal himself up a little bit, but now the Pikachu comes in. But Qin's getting very low as Thor was coming in there with the spin to win. But the trade back from the Vortex and the damage coming out. The snipe across the back from it's onto Prime. Ataraxia dunks down to clean up Ymir, who was very low. But Kanye left surrounded by 4 members right now. Does get a 3-man taunt, but it's not going to be enough to pick up a kill. And now this is an opportunity for upcoming stars to take a Gold Fury. No Hog 3s though involved in this.
Incredible play in that team fight. And 2 words for you, Hindu man. Sir Cat. Incredible play coming out from the Pikachu, making use of all of the tools that that character has at their disposal. She is absolutely incredible. And when a player can play Sirket well, it's definitely something you want to look to ban away. Agilitas are in a bad way in this early game. They're down 1,500 gold and 1,000 experience, so it definitely could be worse. And the farm from Agilitas was looking really good, as I highlighted earlier. But now upcoming stars are starting to create a lead that's going to allow them to favorably transition into mid-game, where they're going to look to get a few more objectives, get some towers, and then make the transition into the late game. This isn't a snowball lead. This is a deliberate win the game lead.
Well, about 80% of the jungle is available right now. You just saw the red buff get dropped, the speed buff's being dropped, the blue buffs on the right-hand side have also been dropped right now. Blues on the left being left for the moment, as both the Hunters have just returned to lane. They're not desperate for them just yet, as they are both on full mana. Mid-camps, though, respawning as well, right-hand side. Could see a contestation out, as Qin tries to zone out Kanye Life, but in doing so, Repikas does come around the back and take that camp out before Ymir can get their left-hand side. We're going to see Giannis trying to take this one down. Can he get them down quick enough? Yes, he can. Kanye late to that one. So a 1-for-1 trade on the mid-camps one more time.
1-for-1 trade, and gonna keep that even play going. But upcoming stars, they want to look to make some aggressive plays here. The Gold Fury is down, so maybe invades onto buff camps. But up against a team like Agilitas that has so much global presence, and the only non-global presence is in their mid laner who's got good rotation paths to everywhere, it's very hard to make an aggressive play, because then, well, the cavalry arrives.
Well, at the moment, both sides of the jungle are totally down. You can see Pikachu and Repikas trying to rotate around, looking for an opportunity to do something. Pikachu's going to find Repikas from behind. Repikas hasn't seen him yet, but the Cobra's Kiss misses. Kanye spots it, and there's a taunt. And with the Death Bane being used to try and juke away there, I think Pikachu's going to go down. Ataraxia with the So Beautiful picks that up. Knew what ult was used, wasn't needed, but Thork is still going in. He jumps to his hammer nicely. Confy finds a solo kill against Snakeskin as Ataraxia dunks down from across the skies. And Qin's in trouble as well. He's going to use the ultimate to try and buy time and slow the team. Will there be a rotation back in? But Prime does come in as well. Use the Circle of Protection. A lot of burst from the Wingus going to be able to secure him. Thor now takes to the sky. Will he find Giannis?
Well, he's got a pretty good chance, and Giannis is going to find himself near the towers, reduces movement options, no way to teleport out towards the wall.
Wow, what a comeback.
Gotta say, Kurasendo just kind of walked in. He needed to stick near the wall there. That was his best chance of staying alive, but it wasn't looking good. Agilitas clean up the kills. They're going to clean up two towers here and immediately recover. The gold gonna be about 1,500, so turn that around, but experience 4,000 in favor of Agilitas.
Really big. I mean, we just saw the fight around the Gold Fury that did not go well for them at all, and immediately turned on the pressure again and made the play, because Pikachu was the one that ganked. Pikachu looking to gank again with ambush, gonna leap over the wall into 2 of them. Finds the Cobra's Kiss, the Death Bane as well, and the ultimate, the last breath on Kanye Life. He's gonna slowly poison and tick down to low health. Will it be enough? The poison hits onto Ataraxia. The Frost Breath's gonna buy some time from Tajuka away with the ambush and the Death Bane combination, but he's still goes down. 1-for-1 support for jungler.
Good trade in favor of Agilitas, honestly. I mean, their support is a little bit ahead, it looks like. 10 to 10, but you know, Kanye's doing well for himself. That kill definitely did mean something, but keeping Pikachu down is super important, and getting him off the map and reducing the time that he can farm just means Agilitas are going to be in a better way. The question is, and so, you know, Sirket's still kind of new. There are definitely options to build this character. What do you think of this Jotun's first build?
There's a lot of discussion about whether you should rush Deathbringer or look for cooldown reduction. I mean, a lot of people say Deathbringer because Deathbane, you know? Deathbane does so much. Oh, mid lane though, Comfrey popping sprint. The minions, the clay minions didn't go off, but now Ymir came in, and he came into a world of hurt as he gets evaporated by 4 men that dunked down. Mid camps are available. We're going to see some more engagement coming out. I don't think so. It was a shame from Comfrey though. He used sprint for the clay minions there, correct? And the clay minions went, you know what? I want to go and take some farm instead.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes. They're not particularly good. Hold on,
Good
Kanye
taunt.
finds a nice taunt. So, the Pikachu is going to take damage.
Oh,
Double
the
tap
double
from
tap.
Replikas. So disgusting when it hits that hard. And now mid tower's going to go down. Agilitas wants to keep the pressure up. They had some trouble in the early game, but they've turned on the heat with their global presence. Fresh Time gets tapped again. Wingus going to connect into the taunt. Thor's going up. Fresh Times is as well. Snipe comes through, but it's not going to connect. Thor comes down in the back. He's going to get frozen out, but Confrey secures the kill onto Fresh Times. Yanis is out, but he's completely out. He can't help his team. And now Roz in the front, walled off. Snakeskin in trouble and will get taken down. Kurisentu dives the Phoenix to pick up the kill onto Yanis, and it's just Qin staying alive. He's got Circuit to back him up from the respawn. Apollo's going to take left tower. 4 members in mid to take that. The minions from Nuance still tank towers. They're still good at it when you have your team. Nuance tower damage herself just went down. Circuit over the left-hand side to try and deal with Ataraxia. Surrender vote has started, and Upcoming Stars lost control of this game really quick.
Agilitas kind of just went from, you know, from cruise control into overdrive. That's generally what just happened here. They just, like, turned it up one extra gear that they seem to be holding back on and trying to punish Upcoming Stars with it now. The Pikachu still trying to make plays happen. 13-5, though. That tier 2 tower on the left is very, very close to going down. The gold lead, 5,000. Experience lead, 10,000. Gold Fury on the map. And Fire Giant is also a threat now because the way Agilitas have just turned it up, all of a sudden they've got a couple of items online. And it's really starting to hurt.
Yeah, it's really starting to be rough for Upcoming Stars. Midgardian Mail on Qin? Why? That is so okay. First of all, it's a pure physical defense item. It doesn't give any magical defense, much like a Sovereignty does. And part of the problem that Qin's facing in this match is the Ice Assault on top of his Ymir ult is setting up a situation where Qin just
Desperation
kind of...
Fire Giant. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but it looks like we're going to see that coming out, Cret. Oh, this is a good call, I think, because they're not aware of it. Not rotate. They're doing Gold Fury. Meanwhile, Yana showing mid means that they don't think they're doing this. They don't know what's going on right now, and the space and time's going to get fired out by him. The Fire Giant's going to drop down. Upcoming Stars with a fantastic play.
Yeah, and Agilitas just didn't read into that. They weren't aware that it was a possibility. They're going to awkwardly find out soon. The reveal will probably hint that Fire Giant was taken. So what Agilitas are going to do is they're going to, first of all, take everything off the map that they can right now while Upcoming Stars are still regrouping, and then they're going to look for a situation where they can get a pick or get a really good engagement. This might have bought 5 minutes for Upcoming Stars, but it's not really the beginning of a comeback. Not yet. They need a little bit more.
Well, if they choose to fight, they need to be very careful because it looks like that's what Agilitas want to do. They want to fight. 3-man taunt. Spirit Ball lands onto Qin. Qin's in the circle of protection and gets evaporated. Snakeskin's the next one who's also getting hit on because of the wall. Ataraxia's in the sky, going to dunk down with the guns of death onto Pikachu. And there's another dunk from Thor who takes out another. Fresh Time trying to continue doing damage as he goes down. And against a Fire Giant team, Agilitas just take 4 members like it was nothing. They're going to go for a Phoenix. Can they end the game here?
Well, they're going to go for it, certainly. They've got anti-backdoor protection with that minion, but unfortunately it's not going to live long enough. We'll reset to Replikas, trying to get a little bit more damage off, and the first Phoenix is down. No creeps on the left-hand side. Circle protection is down, so they can't do that. They're going to tank it out with Ataraxia's extra protections from his passive. Reset to Kanye life. The left Phoenix is down very low, and the auto attacks are going to get it done. 2 Phoenixes down, 16 minutes. Upcoming Stars are in a lot of trouble, but honestly, I think it's kind of just Agilitas playing really well this game.
They really are playing well. I mean, the early game was very, very even. Upcoming Stars put on a performance to match Agilitas all the way through. Won the first fight around the Gold Fury area that gave them that, and then all of a sudden, Agilitas just seemed to I don't know where it came from, because they seemed to slowly be losing it, but now left-hand side, Giannis gets caught out by 4 members, immediately evaporated there overall. Did not pay off for him there. I guess he was looking for a pick onto Kanye life in return, and that was the last Fire Giant member on the team. So the Fire Giant off the table for a while now, and with 2 Phoenixes down, Agilitas can just look at Assault in this last tier 2 tower on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I think they just group up and push it down. I mean, Agilitas is going to look to close this game outright. They've got the pressure on the 2 other waves. They're going to clear their jungle buffs. Looking at their items really quick, they've got crit online on their hunters. Nice damage on Replikas with that shifter shield, giving 60 physical power. Thoth online from Pretty Prime. Stacks probably high, and he's looking at a Tahuti coming up soon. Kanye Live actually going Magi's before Sav, which is a little bit strange, but the bubbles definitely helped him out a lot. And honestly, his team is going so ham that I still don't want to say Sav wouldn't have been better, because that aura is absolutely incredible once you actually understand how much protections 20 is. Big damage onto Surcat, jumping away and just barely surviving, but Repikas absolutely destructive right now.
Yeah, the whole team of Agilitas destructive. There's Kanye going to get a taunt onto Giannis, forcing out the beads, so he's not going to get stunned by that wall. Gets through a portal back to safety for now, but beads on cooldown for the next engagement. Next time Kanye's got a taunt, keep an eye on him. He'll try and pick off this Giannis. They switched to mid to pushing the wave with the fire minions there as well. Ataraxia going to go and push in left-hand side here, correct? While the rest of his team assault the right-hand side. This is a good call to try and force a split.
Yeah, but it does give up their best tower damage. Nice wall from Repikas. Qin's gonna blink in, gets a really good free circle protection coming down to Turtle through the damage, and Pretty Prime's gonna pop it at just the right time. Qin gets deleted. Surcat jumping away. Nuwa will secure that kill. Ataraxia comes down from the sky. Now Snakes gets trying to stay alive in his heal, but he's just gonna stunned out, and down from the sky with the Thunderduck. Repikas finds the kill, finds the Dia side, finds the game. Agilitas in the finals.
Agilitas move on to the finals after that one. That was honestly, overall, I want to give some shout outs to upcoming stars there. Agilitas played fantastically, they turned it up, but upcoming stars did two things right. Their early game was fantastic all the way through, correct? And then they won the first team fight, which was great, but when they fell behind, they realized that to get themselves back into it, they had to try and make a play. And that Fire Giant play was a really good call from them, honestly, going forward. It was a great call to try and give themselves the opportunity to get themselves back in it. But Agilitas, just too strong.
It's going to be really, really good play from both of these teams. Can't wait to see what upcoming stars can bring in the next match. I mean, they've convinced me. I think they are upcoming. We'll be back with the next game in just a few minutes, guys, so stay tuned. Won't be long.